You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. We are dedicating this hour of our primetime telecast to discuss in detail the men behind Team India's success and a wonderful World Cup campaign that we have had so far. First, the special report on Mr. Dependable, Rahul Dravid, and then we discuss the Wall's transition from a legend to a legendary coach.
Rahul Dravid, former captain of the Indian national team and currently serving as the head coach of Team India. He was born on 11th January 1973 in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. His father worked at the company Kisan, best known for producing jam, due to which he was given the nickname Jammy by his friends. Meanwhile, his mother worked as a teacher at Visvesvaraya College of Engineering in Bangalore University. During his schooling years at the St. Joseph's Boys High School in Bangalore, Karnataka, he started playing cricket at the age of 12 and went on to represent Karnataka at the under-15, the under-17 and under-19 levels. Former cricketer K.K. Tarapore first noticed Dravid's talent while coaching him at a summer camp in Chinnaswamy Stadium. Dravid became familiar with the idea of scoring centuries while playing for his school team. Later, he went on to receive his business degree from St. Joseph's College of Commerce in Bengaluru, and soon after, with years of consistent performance, he made his impressive debut test appearance in the second match against England in 1996, scoring an almost century, remaining just 5 runs short of 100. Dravid concluded a successful debut series with an impressive average of 62.33 from 2 test matches. He holds the distinction of being the only Indian to score centuries in 4 consecutive test match innings when he scored 100 against West Indies in Mumbai. His previous 3 centuries were 115, 148 and 217, which came during India's tour of England in 2002. When Greg Chappell took over as India's coach, Rahul Dravid was promoted as captain of the national team. During his tenure, the Indian team broke the record for most consecutive victories, batting second in one-day international previously held by West Indies. For this 17-match run, Dravid was the captain for 15 matches and Sourav Ganguly was the captain for 2 matches. He was the first captain to lead India to a test match victory against South Africa on South African soil. He was also only the 3rd captain from India to win a test series in England when India won the series in 2007. Rahul led India to a historic test series win against the West Indies in 2006. Since 1971, India had never won a test series in the West Indies. He is the 4th highest run scorer in Test cricket, scoring 13,288 runs, beaten by only Sachin Tendulkar, Ricky Ponting and Jacques Kallis. He also scored 10,889 runs in one-day internationals. He was named one of the best 5 cricketers of the year by Wisden Cricketers Almanac in 2000 and received the Player of the Year and the Test Player of the Year awards at the inaugural ICC Awards ceremony in 2004. Dravid retired from international cricket in March 2012 but continued to play for Rajasthan Royals in the IPL for another year. He is now the mentor of the Indian cricket team.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Wall, Rahul Dravid, Mr. Dependable. Earlier, he used to, of course, save India from falling because of his tenacity, because of his brilliant patience levels when it came to Test cricket and one-day international. And then, of course, he became the coach, firstly for the under-19 team and then for the men's team. To talk more about Rahul Dravid and what his transition has been over the years, joining us on the show is Sunil Yashkalra. He's, of course, the founder of Indian Sports Fan. Mr. David Brooks, former cricket director of Channel 4, United Kingdom, also with us on the program. Roland Butcher, West Indies selector, joins us on the program as well. Terry Blake, ex-ECB director, is with us on the show as well. Last but not the least, Mr. Anil Chaudhary to my left in the studio. He's, of course, the ICC cricket empire, still very much with them. Sunil, I'm going to begin with you. Well, Rahul Dravid, for the longest time, as we remember when we were, growing up watching cricket in our college and school days, was the go-to man when it came to India getting out of trouble. Do you think he's done that job a lot of goodwill when he in fact picked up the mantle of becoming the head coach of the Indian team, or do you think there are some avenues and chinks that Rahul Dravid can still iron out?
Well, there's a certain personality. Of course, there are 2 Rahul Dravids that we know. Rahul Dravid the player, Rahul Dravid the coach. Rahul Dravid the player was always Mr. Dependable. He was our go-to guy and he did a commendable job of it. But the problem started. He was very good. He's very good at nurturing, creating the youngsters, which he did phenomenally well. Shaw, Shubman Gill, so on and so forth have been his his creation from the NCA days. But when you go on to a bigger stage, bigger arena, you need a little bit of shrewdness, you need a little bit of street smartness and a little bit of aggression, which
you think he's lacking?
I think when you
can say that, he won't hold that against you.
Absolutely, he doesn't know me, so I'm sure he wouldn't even bother. But what I'm saying is, when you have Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli's shoes to fill in, you get in a different kind of mentality and different kind of approach. But being Mr. Good Guy here will not help in this. You need a Jose Mourinho kind of a guy who will go out, take the pressure, fight with people, fight with everyone, take the pressure off their kids, back someone, do something out of the box. I think that's where I personally feel he's always the Mr. Good Guy, clean guy, obedient guy, front bencher in the class, would always do his homework, his tie would be on and his uniform would be on.
Understood. David Brooks, do you think that when a cricketer turns into a coach, there is always this concept of being contemporary in terms of whom you're coaching? You could have been brought up in a different style of cricket, but the style of cricket that is prevalent at the time when you become the coach is perhaps very distinct for that particular day and age. If you get what I'm following, do you think that Rahul Dravid fits that bill, because he's somebody who all of us categorize as being the old school kind of cricketer?
I do get where you're going on that, and I think Rahul Dravid has actually managed to outsmart a lot of people in what he's done as a coach, and probably surprised a lot of people who remember him as the wall, as this very defensive batter. The fact that he's been able to mastermind, and I use that term advisedly, what's been going on in India, not just at national coach level across all formats, but also his spell as director of the National Cricket Academy between 2019 and 2021. He knows all the young players. He's put in place the pathways. I'm holding up a book here, The Secrets of Leadership, forward by Rahul Dravid. This was written about 10 years ago. So this is a very thoughtful guy who really understands what needs to be done. And I'm glad you're highlighting him today, because he is one of the unsung heroes. And I remember attending an event, I think it was the Cricinfo 40th anniversary, where Rahul Dravid spoke so brilliantly about what needs to happen in world cricket. And he said, big three cannot be allowed to have it all to themselves. There is responsibility of the big three to develop first-class cricket in all the other nations. He singled out the importance of first-class cricket. The fact that he's been able to be a great coach across all formats and has mastered and knows all the players. He has both the respect of the senior players, and Anil Kumble, take note, he never managed that. But he also manages to have a great relationship with the youngsters. He's been on the A tours, he's served his time, he's picked the right batting coach and bowling coach and fielding coach. He is to be congratulated, whatever the result this match.
Absolutely. Mr. Blake, do you think that the role of a coach is more to do with somebody who can implement what he has learned, or do you think it's more to do with being a guide to the team and just working on the nooks and the crannies that the players themselves cannot figure out? And do you think that Rahul Dravid perhaps has succeeded in that role in this short stint that he's had with the team?
Well, it certainly looks that way. I think when you have a team that is full of experienced players, then the coach's role is slightly more like a consultant who will sit more in the background and listen to what's being said by the senior players, having words with some of the more junior players. I think that's the role of a coach in an experienced team. And Dravid, as David says, regardless of what may or may not happen today, has had a really good start, and I think he's highly respected around the world. He used to be a wonderful batsman to watch if you like the defensive sides of Test cricket. He and VVS Laxman I could watch forever. beautiful defence, but knowing when to play the right shot. And I think that's been brought into his coaching as well.
All right. Mr. Butcher, if you can hear me?
Yes, good. Yes, I can hear you, and good day to everyone.
One important aspect of any coach, which is always under the focus, is how well he gets along with players. A number of cricketers, bring about their own personality, and the players have to adapt to it. Do you think that somebody who's always been a man, who's always followed his own instinct, and somebody who's always done what he's thought is right, like Rahul Dravid, would have had an easy time, having an entire team acclimatized to his standards and his ways and means?
What I would say is that it is very, very hard for a great player to be a great coach. There are very few. If you look in the history of the game, you'll find there are very few. The reasons for that are that, great players become great players by what they do. Then when they become coaches, most of them tend to have too high expectations of the players that they're in charge of, because the players generally will not have the same level of skill and ability that they had. So most of them find it very difficult to translate that. For me, the best coaches, certainly when you stop playing, what you must do when you go into coaching is you must park your playing career. That doesn't matter anymore. That is gone. This is a new job. And the best coaches are the ones who are almost invisible. You don't see them. It's not about them, really. It's about the players. So the best coaches, they stay in the background. Their job is to motivate the players and get the best out of them in all circumstances. It's not about them. But I think generally around the world, we tend to put too much emphasis on the coach. It's the 11 players that go into the field.
In fact, Mr. Butcher, Sunil has a point to make here. Sunil, go ahead.
I was just looking at, it's an interesting point you made, Mr. Butcher, but Darren Sammy also belongs to a different kind of a different generation, and he's a part of the West Indies cricket. And he's chalk and cheese with Carl Hooper. Carl Hooper, we understand. But at the same time, Darren Sammy goes against your theory. Would you accept, or it's a larger scheme of things that we fail to understand?
Well, Darren Sammy is just very new into the job. He's had 1 or 2 series, so you've got to wait to see how Darren does. I mean, it's a long process, being a coach. Now, if you look at the Indian team, if Rahul Dravid was away for a couple of days, will the team do any worse? The answer is no, because simply the Indian team consists of a number of very, very experienced world-class players who know what it's like to play and be pressured in situations. So if Dravid goes home for 2 days, the team will continue and they will perform. So what you must do is not put all the emphasis on how good a coach is. A coach really, at the end of the day, is only as good as his team. And if he's able to motivate that team, a good coach can take a team that's lacking in talent and skills and motivate them to be in a good team. And a bad coach can have a great team and can't get them to perform. So
absolutely, you're absolutely right, Mr. Butcher. Let me also rope in Mr. Anil Chaudhary. Mr. Chaudhary, you've seen Rahul Dravid as a player, as a coach now. What has been your observation? Has he changed as a person when he became the coach, or do you think he changed the team as the person he is because of the way he played?
I think today the way team is playing, fantastic team, and look at the record of last 2 years or like 6 months especially.
Right.
Team is doing very well. We are talking because of this game today. It happens, law of average. You can't be so harsh on because of one. And look at first 10 overs, 10, 12 overs. Things are changing because the conditions are different now. As we discussed earlier, because of due, things have changed. Rahul is very good. I think the result today, we are getting all these players, not this Indian team, earlier also under 19 India. So it's correct. It is a result of his hard work and his team. It is not always 1 or 2 guys. It is full team actually working. Maybe 15, 20 people working in NCA and BCCI administration. So this is not a one-day work. It's an ongoing process. You keep changing name if the process is correct. I think result is more or less same. And he's a very, very positive and very calm person.
You're quite right. He has the temperament.
I think today is the day where I think because of this game we are criticizing, and still the game is on. You never know what will happen.
Well, it's a team effort. You
we
can't
have a
criticize
fantastic
the coach.
team, I tell you. All 15 players, not only 15, other 5, 10 players, We have such a wonderful 25 players we have now. It is a result of these guys, those who have worked hard today. So I think Rahul is fantastic, and he is a very simple guy, very simple, very positive, and you can talk to him anytime.
All right.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.